Good morning, Monday morning, Garden of England. What a beautiful autumnal day. As you can see, the harvesting is well over. In a field further up, the pumpkins are already beginning to rot in the field, those that weren't picked for the celebration at the end of last month. So, thinking about harvest, what's your harvest been this year? How pleased are you with your year? I've had an amazing year. Maybe there's still a bit of harvesting to do. What's happening further round in the farm is the farmers actually tilling the soil, if that's the term, to prepare the soil, the ground for next year. Preparation's already underway, and they're underway in my mind, because now that we've moved through into the season of preparation, that's what I'll be doing even today. I'm preparing for Friday, first of 3 days schedule for November, for me to film that course that I've been promising, so that your family, your loved ones, your friends and colleagues can start to get into this stuff. And the other thing we're doing, of course, is the videos, and 3 were recorded last week with this amazing woman, and they're designed in the way that we created them, just fell naturally. Was the first one is all about, you know, getting out of comfort zones, proof that trusting in the MindStore techniques works, trusting your intuition, car going by, the whole thing about stepping out of comfort zones and going for it. But the second one, big tractor coming now, this way Stella, over here. The tractor's gone by now, having prepared the field. Big giant tractor. So where was I? So yes, so the videos that we've made are very powerful. The first one is available now, and if you haven't watched it, I highly recommend it. And I would highly recommend that you share it. Please help with this stuff, because you must know by now how this all works. If you don't like and don't subscribe, it doesn't kind of get out there. The other thing I would urge you to do is don't assume that the nice people you've met in MindStore, who you might be a bit friendly with, somehow or other, there's another vehicle coming, somehow or other are getting even access to this. The bots don't necessarily make it easy. So maybe find the confidence to share it. Maybe risk yourself to share it with someone who's not been in MindStore before, because I hope what it does, it creates curiosity, so that when the course comes along, they'll take advantage of it. But the next interview and the one after that, absolutely amazing. Just amazing, truly inspiring, but particularly for you to get back into this stuff, to really trust yourself, to do your preparation. Because when we get into November, when we get into December and we start to go through that goal setting process, you're going to be really ready for an extraordinary year. But over and above that, because I'm going to release that training program, you can bring family, friends and loved ones with you. You don't have to sit there somehow or other on your own with this big secret of how you're able to change and shape and create the life that you choose. And what's really inspiring about the interviews that you've yet to see is that it's not only about achieving success, it's also about facing adversity. And it's just extraordinary stuff. And what it does, it really inspires us to take ownership of the phase of life we're in, and to make sure that we go on and live the rest of it to the full, but also make sure that your family and loved ones, colleagues and so on, can get into this as well. Why don't you do this? Why don't you let them make their mind up as to whether or not they fancy this or not? Why don't you not do any judgment? Why don't you just risk yourself to share it? I wouldn't be standing here right now or walking here right now on this very farm if I hadn't trusted myself to stand up and share this stuff, and I wouldn't have got anywhere if people in the audiences didn't have the confidence to share it on with others too. And of course, I did go through a big marketing phase. I had staff doing all that stuff. You remember that. If you were part of that, you would have got encouragement to come to courses, introductory talks and all that stuff. But you know, the truth of the matter is, without sharing, it would never have happened. Maybe you can do that now. Maybe you can really go and if you already watched the video with Kathleen, then why don't you go back and like it? Why don't you go back and comment? Why don't you comment in such a way you encourage others? Why don't you also pass it on to family or friends? But more importantly, let people know who you'll know are into MindStore, who might not have a clue that I do this most mornings now, and that I've actually got these interviews. The interviews that are due are absolutely extraordinary. They're just amazing. And then the fourth one, what we plan to do is that, having watched the first three, we'll entertain your questions. And especially for those people who have never been with us before, who'll be inspired, one can only imagine, might have questions, and we can encourage them to trust that in due course this will be ready for them. And more importantly, we'll encourage them to participate on the goal setting process through December, so that they have tilled the soil, they're ready to really plant the seeds of an extraordinary 2025. You know, I'm so privileged to be able to walk about in this beautiful sunshine here in Kent to share this stuff with you. But to have interviewed Kathleen, to have the opportunity to interview her, not only in that first one, so inspiring as it is, constantly getting out of her comfort zone, constantly thinking big, constantly risking herself, constantly trusting her intuition, proving all the stuff that those of you who had the opportunity to see the video with Jim back in those recent courses, just re-emphasising that all this stuff magically works. And with so many coincidences between her and Jim, it was quite amazing for me, because I was aware of all kinds of things going on there. But for that woman, Kathleen, to share her breakthroughs, but into this second workshop that's coming, because you have that in you too. You have an extraordinary opportunity and possibility to do something extraordinary this coming year. And she shares a story about doing something absolutely amazing. It's just fantastic. But then, just when you think, oh my goodness, even with video one, you think, oh my God, what an amazing life this woman's lived. And then she goes into workshop, but it is a kind of workshop, into meditation. Yeah, meditation 2, the interview 2, second part. My goodness. So amazing that she's continued to grow and succeed. And then 3, where she faces adversity. Oh my goodness. Anyway, see ya. It's Monday already. Take a few deep breaths. It'll be Monday next week, sooner than you know. Bye now. Bye-bye.